Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another Sporting160EN podcast, number 174, coming to you after a tough 1-0 victory against Rio Ave away. But let's start with the panel, starting off with my man Rich, who, again, I wasn't here last week, but sick intro. Never going to get tired of that. But Rich, how you doing, bro?
I'm good. We have a fun bunch of stuff to get to after the Rio Ave game because that was tragic at best, dreadful at worst. That was one of the ugliest games of football I've ever watched in my life. It was horrible.
It's up there.
If you paid, I didn't pay to watch that game. I still want a refund. If you paid to watch that game, you might be entitled to financial compensation.
If only Sporting worked that way, bro. We'd have free cottage for like years. Also joined by my guy Chris. Chris, how's it going, bro?
Yeah, man. Pretty bad viewing experience, the Rio Ave game. I saw some people shitting on the broadcast as well, because the Rio Ave Stadium is under construction. Obviously, the whole other side bleacher is destroyed. So, like, you were literally just looking at, like, a grassy patch with, like, a tarp over it for the entire time.
And some rocks.
Like, the angle was ass. No shots of the fans. The play on the field was ass and underwhelming. Just a very dreadful viewing experience. But I'm glad that Shermiti was able to shit house one in basically out of nothing, and steal us 3 points. It's not it's not right in the corner or anything like that, but it was enough.
It did its job.
Facts. Don't forget to give Sam a follow, give myself a follow. Steph will hopefully join us soon. And then, of course, the Twitter page, Sporting160_EN. All right, boys, let's just jump straight into this game. Let me bring up the 11 here. So 11 was as followed. We had Adhan in net. There we go. We had Adhan in net. St. Just for another consecutive start, another 90 minutes.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. My guy's ankles are back to normal again, I guess. Maybe. We'll see. But St. Just, Inacio, and Mateus Reis in the back line. Ishgayu keeping his right back spot with Nuno Santos at the other side. Murita Ugarte in the middle with Marcus Edwards, Pot, and Shermiti up top. Substitutions of Artur, Trincão, Jovan, which we'll get to afterwards in a bit as well. And then the debutants of Bellerin and Diomande. Chris, I'll start off with you first, bro. What were your thoughts on this game?
Basically, what everyone's thoughts were. It was a throwback game, to be honest. We haven't had one like this in a while. We're fresh off, like, honestly, 2 pretty good performances. The game against Porto, which obviously was a loss, was still a positive performance. And then the game against Braga is, arguably one of the better games, or if not the best game of the season for us. So we haven't had like an absolutely no output cruiser ball game in a while, but it was an unfortunate little reminder that we still have these in us. Throwback to some very bad times of earlier in like this season, like October, November. Just some pretty dreadful stuff was being played. And then it got a little bit better as like winter arrived, you could say. But yeah, it wasn't good enough. There was like, I guess, some decent like individual performances in a vacuum, but just overall in general, not good enough. Esgaio was back to reality, I feel like. And despite him not having like a bad game, he's just so limited offensively, and our formation is so reliant on like the wingbacks getting involved in the attack that like there are moments when like St. Just in the first half was like getting forward, and like he's like much more of a threat. Like Esgaio just like, I guess this is his confidence, because like I feel like he didn't want to even try to take on their left back, try to get to the end line, get a cross in. There was just like nothing. He wasn't even crossing it into the defender. He was just like receiving it and then just looking to play it back or something, and not really ever try to play a progressive ball or do something himself. So yeah, we were just like getting into the final third and then not being able to do anything, not being able to get to the net, not being able to generate a chance. They honestly, I guess you could say, played a decent game defensively, and they had a couple decent individual performances. But yeah, it's a result that is salvaged by honestly tragic defending from Rio Ave. One mistake from their center back, shot goes under the goalie's arm. Kind of a sequence of errors that they hadn't made the entire game. Only 0.6 xG between both teams combined, which is the third lowest in the entire league the whole season. And they're unlucky to concede, I'll be honest. But yeah, I'm glad it was Sharmiti. Glad he was able to celebrate with the fans, have a nice moment that he'll always remember forever. His first goal for the club. It's not the most convincing performance from him either, certainly, but he has shown, like he did in his previous appearances, some flashes, some moments. Bit less so in this game than the other one, but maybe there's something there. We just have to keep waiting to see. I wouldn't put it at high odds that he's going to develop into like a absolute goal scoring number 9 machine for us, but he could be a useful player for us.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
a lot
think
of like sorry.
No, I'm just gonna wrap up. Like I think he could be useful.
I've seen a lot of comparisons.
Anything, yeah.
I've seen a lot of comparisons to Rafael Leão.
And they need to stop. If you think
that's a bit aggressive.
If you think that, go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Go straight to jail.
But I agree here with James, for example. Like, very raw but better work rate than Leão. And like I say that in terms of like, I guess how he is, like a tall, lanky, like quick striker that I can.
He throws his body
well
around
on the wing.
Yeah.
He needs to be better physical. At finishing, probably.
Oh yeah, because that was a fluke. That was a fluke.
Who doesn't need to improve at finishing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
On this team. Good luck finding a guy who doesn't.
So it's like, yeah, he and many others need to improve their finishing. So
yeah, facts. Go ahead, Rich. What were your thoughts?
I don't want to waste too many people's time and spend too much time on this. Like, this team wasted our fucking time. Yeah, this was like just the battle of two terrorists and just looking who was gonna break first, and it was just awful. I think the whole first half, the best chance was the Marita shot that went just wide. It was like just outside the box, and that was pretty much it for the first half. Second half was more cruisable, and it was just dreadful. I actually, funny enough, I missed the goal, and I'm gonna tell people why. I saw Jovan come on. I said, you know what? I'm done for the day. Flicked off my stream. I checked my phone maybe 4 minutes later, and it's multiple messages from multiple group chats saying, "Go, get on you!" And I'm like, you gotta fucking kidding me. And I turned the stream back on, and it's Sharmiti celebrating, and I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. Just a brutal game all around. I don't think nobody won. This was an awful game to watch. And like you said, Chris, there was a couple like okay individual standouts. Like Marita looked okay, Ugarte looked relatively good. Ignacio had a decent game. Adon didn't have anything to screw up, so I guess that's good for him.
He had one save.
He had the one save. He had the one save. But yeah, nothing special. We got to see little cameos from
honestly, a save that I was not
expecting him
to make.
Especially given his recent form. That's and the thing is, that's 1-0 Rio Ave, and that's how the game finishes too.
Yeah, we're not scoring. We're not scoring if that goes in.
That was huge. We isolated Adon a lot, but I need to give him his props.
I'll give him that one.
He gave us those 3 points this game.
I'll happily give him that one. Yeah, Jovan came on, and like James, that's when I flicked off my stream. I was like, I can't deal with this.
He tried to dribble afternoon, like right when he came in, probably like a minute after, and he lost his footing and just fell over.
Yeah,
and turned it over.
I'm glad I didn't see that. I'm glad I missed that. But yeah, I missed the goal as a result of that. I'm like, fuck, I can't.
I don't
just
even
can't.
remember him getting a yellow card, to be honest.
I don't.
That's the other thing. Chermiti, bro, has got to chill. With
Yeah,
the
he's got to
yellows.
settle down a bit. He's gonna get suspended like 2 games.
He's on his Palinga shit, who I think I was
He
watching the
is.
Fulham game. I think he's gotten 8 bookings in the Prem or something like that.
He's
But
up
that's
there.
just-
He's
Which, to be
high.
fair,
He's
in
up
the
there.
last Fulham game that I was watching, the yellow was bullshit. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, my man, when you make
Overall, that's a
140
lot.
tackles,
I was
or
gonna
whatever,
say,
like,
bro. I was
you're
gonna
gonna
say
get
he's-
some bookings along the way.
Overall, that's high for a 2-season count, let alone like midway through 1 season.
Exactly.
I think in the
Um,
Portuguese league, how it works is 5.
It's
and
5
4,
and then a
and
suspension.
then 3, and then
Mhm.
2, and then every
Yeah.
booking after that. So I think 9 would be the second suspension. So he's definitely probably approaching the second Prem suspension.
Probably. He'd be close. He's got a lot of cards. And then we just got the nice little cameos from Bellerin and Diamande. They look fine. Diamande's huge, by the way. He's a big lad.
And one thing from Diamante, he looked comfortable out there.
Yeah, that was my big
I didn't mind
concern.
that.
Was he would look just so out of place, but he looked like, I know it's a 25-minute a garbage game against Rio Ave or whatever, but he looked fine. He looked decent. So
Yeah.
both guys came in to do a job. They did well. So fair play. I got a little complaint about that. The only thing I complain about is the whole other rest of this game. But we got the win. Lauren put it best. It was an awful game. It was an awful performance. I'm glad we won. I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, facts. I'm not gonna add anything else.
I'm
to
shocked
that.
we won.
That's pretty much it.
I'm
We would
shocked.
have lost ground. We would have lost ground on all 3 of the teams ahead of us had we had
Yeah.
dropped points because they had all already won coming in to this game.
We had no choice
So,
but to try and win.
Yeah, we broke on the match day. We broke even. To be honest, I said this in the group. I really think that Braga's game, so the only other team ahead of us is game. So I feel like we need to track because
We're
I
not
don't
catching
think we'll
Porto.
be catching the other 2. We might not even be catching them, but they're
Yeah.
at least going to be.
Well,
closest.
they're I think 6 points or 5 points.
We have a bit of
ahead
breathing
of
room
us.
behind us now, so
Yeah, there's 6.
really,
There's 6 or
it's
they're
them.
like 5 or 6 points ahead of us, Braga, which means,
yeah.
and we played our games against them too, so we would need to not only get our wins but hope they massively screw up at least.
They're kind of
twice.
like us, where they obviously will win 4-1, and they've been looking good, and then they lost 5-0 to us. Like they will lose random games.
So
But
that's exactly it. You
we
need
will
them to
lose
a random
potentially
game.
random games as well. So
Mhm.
Well, because we have games against Porto, we have games against Benfica, both at home.
yeah. So I
Um,
mean,
yeah,
we could open
It
that
could end
gap
up
up to
being a
8
wash.
next weekend. Which is bad.
yeah, it could end up being a wash by the end of Sunday.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? Because Sporting has been just the thing that this game really pissed me off about was we put in an incredible shift the game before against or obviously the game before against Braga, but even before that against Porto, where a lot of us feel hard done by on that result.
Yeah,
And then it takes us 60 something minutes just to get a shot on target against Rio Ave,
yeah,
which is annoying. And I was talking to Dave Pereira, and he was saying how he thinks that Braga just has like massive like mental breakdowns when it comes to Sporting because he doesn't understand how they lost 5-0 twice to us when we're putting in performances like this against Rio Ave. And I'm with them. I sent them the chat. There's the British chant, the "Can we play you every week?
Can we
play you every week?"
every week?
I sent them that chat just because, bro, that's how I literally feel. If it was Braga, it would be an easy 5-0 win, but because it's
like
Rio Ave
4-1.
away, I don't know what it is with our away form.
We make a meal out of the games we should win. That's the problem with this. That's been a problem with this team for a long
Probably
time.
should stop wearing this kit.
This kid is cursed.
I agree.
It's basically the Nike version of the one that you're wearing right now, Dan.
Yeah, because that shirt outside of like the toss of the Liga final,
Except that
year
one
cursed.
has like
This is the Braille
some
thing.
details on it.
Yeah,
That has Braille and it has Morse code,
yeah.
which is next level.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only good memory of the shirt Daddy's wearing was when we won the toss of Liga. That's
The first one. That was the
first one. That was when we
beginning of Toss of the
Merchants.
Liga Merchant lifestyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, every time I
Quintero was
look
on
at
the
this
team.
in my drawer, I only remember. I think it was this jersey. I could be wrong. I only remember William going up to like our fans at Guimarães when we dropped points just before you played Benfica. It might not be this shirt. Actually.
No,
it
it's
might
not
be a
that
different
shirt.
black
That's
one.
too.
I know
That's
which
too many
black one
years
it is.
ago.
Never mind. I know which black one.
Yeah, that was a couple
It's a
years
different
before, but I
one.
know which one you're thinking
Where
of.
he's
when
telling
he
the
was like, "We're still
Guimarães fans,
1
calm
point
down,
ahead."
calm down, and then we lose to Benfica, and there goes our
Because
title.
we were still 1 point ahead of Benfica after that game.
Yeah.
And he was telling
And then we
all the
played them the week
Guimarães
after.
Sporting fans, "We're still 1 point ahead. It's okay." And then we
got robbed that
fucked
game
it.
though. We were up 3-0, and Marega tossed our guy. But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up bad memories.
But we also
we got
have
bad memories
one
focused on in the
5-0
present.
there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And Bruno's one of his first games. Banged in a few.
His first
won
game, we won
5-0.
like 5 or 6-1 or something stupid. Yeah.
He scored a banger from Bruno.
That was when like Bruno first came.
It was his
and, like,
debut. I think it was his
Yeah,
debut.
I think it was
And,
his
like,
league debut. Yeah.
That was his league debut, and he literally just the first like 5 weeks just kept scoring goals from like 30 yards out just for fun.
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna complain. This is fun."
Facts. But yeah, back to the game, man of the match. Nothing else really else to say about
just
this game.
because he scored on a goal on a shot that had no business going in. It was basically like Chris said, it was a calamitous like 20 seconds of errors from Rio out there. Just horrific defending, horrific goalkeeping all around. But I'll give it to Shinabiti because he got his first goal, and you feel good for a kid when he does that.
I love the celebration too.
I did love the celebration. I was looking
going
for
up to a fan like.
I was looking for the 160 dudes because I knew they were in the
content.
crowd. I was looking to see if I could see some of the 160 dudes that were in the crowd, and I couldn't make any Pedro or anybody out.
Facts.
Sometimes I see people that I recognize, and I'm like,
yeah.
Hang on.
I needed help that I recognize some of these people that I've never met.
Facts, bro. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I'll see like the backstage, not the backstage. Yeah, the one, whatever the one that they
the backstage,
do, the backstage one, and they'll show the crowd.
Yeah, that's
like, oh, fuck. Why do I know these people from fucking Twitter, bro? Like, what the fuck?
Like, what the shit? I know you.
But anyways, how about you, Chris? Man of the match.
Me also, when I went to João Warsaw this season, I saw someone that I knew, and I was like, "That's crazy."
Yeah.
My man of the match, I'm gonna go with Ugarte.
Fair.
I feel like he was like our engine this game. But like obviously, maybe if he scores, it's different. But Morita, not like his better game. More of a Ugarte game for me, so yeah, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I was actually going to agree with goal point and give it to Inacio, who's been playing better and has been flying under the radar, which I'm glad at. Because I think once Coates leaves, he can be that center back for us, like in the center of the defense. Played some decent balls, tried some things, and for the most part, was pretty solid. So I'll give it to him. Quickly, do you guys think Nuno Santos out of form? I think he played all right.
Definitely not his better game, but dude, he is very, very noticeably been one-footed recently.
Yeah.
And I think that he constantly fear that he's going to get hurt because sometimes the way that he tries to cut onto his left foot, I'm like, bro, you're going to roll your ankle.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just looks so unnatural when he's forced inside and he's trying to cut back to go outside again. It's like, bro, you need to use your right foot. Like
either pass it or use your right.
For like simple passes, even like the man will not use. Like I use my left foot more than he uses his right foot, which is fucked up because he's a professional player. A high level, very high level professional player who is shockingly one-footed.
Yeah,
I don't know if people are onto him per se because it has happened a lot the last few games. But yeah, he needs to figure his shit out and get back into form.
Yeah,
because he's not out of form, but he has had it down 2 games. That's all.
Yeah. His last 2 games, he's not looked phenomenal. Sorry to say.
But let me tell you, Robin only has a left foot, and he's a legend. So
Quaresma only had a right
bro.
foot.
I mean, it's clearly been working for him to a certain extent.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Quaresma was useless with his left foot. That's why he could only
Don't
fucking put his
disrespect
ally.
Quaresma, bro.
I love
Needs to get
Quaresma.
better at the behind the leg, whatever that's called.
Yeah, I
Like
know what
he
you're
has,
talking
to be
about.
fair, he has an assist for Sporting doing that.
Mm-hmm.
The Rabona, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
Nuno
Yeah,
Sanz
the
has a
Rabona.
Rabona assist for Sporting.
He does.
He needs to be Rabona-ing like once, twice a game with
Just
reasonable
try it.
accuracy. You know,
He pulled one. There was one game we were losing. We were down a goal, and he pulled a Rabona, and we lost our minds. To be fair, we were losing. I'm like, fuck! You're trying to Rabona, and you're a goal down. Like, what are you doing? This isn't the time or the place.
Yeah, it's like if you're getting me that one-footed, bro, you kind of need to be like a bit more of like a circus player. You know,
Yeah.
Low key though, when I
there's
was
this guy. There's this guy on the Union.
Mhm.
Who used to sub in Ilsinho, who's an older Brazilian
I
winger.
remember
And
Ilsinho.
he was incredibly one-footed, but it's like, bro,
Yeah.
you know he's gonna take you on. You know where he's going. He's going to the end line because he can only use his right foot, and it would work like 80% of the time.
Bro, Robin made a career off of that. What was the fucking?
He
What
would
was
just
the
cut
Euros?
in.
The
He would
Euros
just
goal where
cut in.
everybody knew all you're doing is you're gonna cut into your left foot, you're gonna bang it, and it's a goal near
And
post.
he did it. We were
Guess
watching
what the fuck
game.
happened?
We were watching a game, and it was the game they played Portugal that year in 2012. And I'm watching, and my dad and I at the same time, he's gonna fucking cut in and shoot with his fucking left. And sure as shit, he cuts it. I'm like, he's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot. Shoots it. Bam, into the goal. I'm like, Beamba, there you go. What did I tell you?
I remember being 8 years old working on a Rabona with my boy Patrick, just because I knew I couldn't fucking. My left foot was just to stand on. So
Oh, my left foot was just there to help me kind of run. That was
it's gotten
it.
better over the years. I can pass the ball. But anyways, let's go off to the Twitter questions, starting with Nuno Gabriel at Cativalins. He asks thoughts on Shermiti's overall performance. Do we have a striker in the making or just a fill-in for now that won't pan out to much? So, I mean, Shermiti's performance we pretty much covered, but do we have a backup striker, Rich? I'll start with you. I'll ask both of you.
At the moment, yeah. I mean, he has to be because we don't have any other strike other than Ribeiro, right? So at the moment, yeah, and he's not looked absolutely
Ribeiro's
horrendous.
a UEFA Youth League merchant, I think.
Yeah, he might be.
I've never been big on the Rodrigo Ribeiro.
Neither have I,
either,
but he's been the only realistic
Agreed.
to get promoted through the ranks.
Yeah, that's true.
So people tend to latch onto people when they're the
We do
only
latch on to
option.
those guys.
I see Pedro Mendes in like Pedro Marks when there's only like one option.
Yeah, sure.
That's
you
your
just
boy.
kind of get people that latch on.
I
But
love him.
he has been passed in the depth chart despite not necessarily performing as high of a level. Like you compare their B team goal records, their UEFA Youth League goal records. Ribeiro's is much better.
Oh,
But
it's unbelievable.
you could argue that Jamaica has a better physical toolbox, offers something that Ribeiro doesn't, and it seems like if Ribeiro was going to translate to this level, it would have by now.
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah, I think right now he's probably the best backup you have.
And he got his debut in
there's-
the Champions League and got to do all that, you know?
He's not looked like absolutely dog shit horrendous. Like he's created chances, he's got a goal, he's got an assist. But yeah, someone in the chat put like he's very raw. Like you could tell he's still very young and still has a lot to learn. He absolutely could pan out for something. The people with the Rafael Leao comparisons need to settle the fuck down. You need to pump the brakes. That is outrageous stuff right now. Give him a full season and we'll see. But he's okay. He's just fine right now. He has a lot to learn still, and it shows sometimes.
True. Like James says, he is only 30. He's 17.
I thought he was 19.
Let's check.
Check his age. We'll find out in like a year.
I think he's turning 18. Yeah, so I think he is 17. He's about to be 18.
17. Yep.
Oh, we fucked up his age last week. Sorry.
And Shermiti is 18 or 19, right? Something like that.
I think Shermiti's
Shermiti's
19.
18. He's
19,
18.
yeah.
Turning 19 in May.
Yeah.
So, I mean, two young guys there.
Yeah, they're both children. Like they can't even drink in Canada. Just like they couldn't drink here.
In Quebec?
In Quebec, you can't because it's 18. In Quebec and Alberta, it's 18. But
18, there you go. Oh, Shermiti can. Sorry, yeah.
Everywhere else in Canada, you're very much a minor.
How about you, Chris? Are you? I mean, we've talked about Shermiti even from preseason, but are you convinced he's a decent fill-in for now, or should
No,
we have?
here's the double-edged sword where this actually could play to our benefit. If you're too good, gone almost
Yeah.
instantly. See Nuno Mendes. So
Yeah, if
you
you're
almost
amazing
don't want
instantly.
them to be too good too soon. You want them to be like serviceable and then like slowly grow so that you can get the most maximum like contribution from them. If you're looking from like a purely sporting perspective.
Yeah, you
Um,
want them to have a couple good years and then go for a good fee.
It doesn't, yeah. And usually when that happens, the fee isn't as high because they're not as good, they're not as young. Usually, I think Palinha kind of suffered from this, even if it wasn't true, but he was older, like he stayed longer, right? It just
Yeah, his
kind of,
value
yeah,
went.
it just kind of makes the fee go down, I feel like. But,
Yeah.
it, I think like we could use a youth player that kind of doesn't instantly pop but is able to contribute, I guess. Because yeah, it would be nice to have like a serviceable utility reserve uh for like a couple seasons, you know.
Yeah, a year or two wouldn't
And
hate
he
it.
could honestly burst onto the scene and like figure it out a little bit more. Like start scoring more consistently, and that could happen, and things could
Of
change,
course,
and
yeah.
he could
He
catch a good moment.
he could
He's still very
also
young,
be
obviously, as we just mentioned.
just the next Jelson Dalla, where we think we have something, he just never
To be
quite
fair,
puts it
he's
together.
already gotten more opportunity with the first team than
I was gonna say,
so.
Yeah.
Jelson barely got a shot with us, bro.
He was the Rio Ave loan.
He's got
so.
multiple starts now, which is more than a lot of these guys that have passed through can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, to follow on Paul Rodriguez is on Shermiti at Paul J. Rod. Shermiti over Pauling for the rest of the season sounds logical, right?
No. Let's settle down. Let's see
I know.
let's see how Shermiti does, because Paulinho still has 2 games left on his suspension, correct?
One more, I think.
One more. So let's see how he does the next game. He's
Porto.
It's Porto,
against
yeah.
Porto. We'll
I don't
see.
even think he should start.
Who starts then?
I think we run the same sort of triangle offense that we did earlier on in the year with Edwards, Pot, and Trincão.
So no strikers, just wingers and vibes.
Just vibes.
Just vibes.
In my opinion, I don't think we played all
might.
that vibe, all that bad when we had those three kind of rotating.
I actually liked it. I
mainly
thought we were
Edwards
gonna
and
keep
Pot
with.
rotating.
I thought we were going
agree.
to keep with that actually, because it was kind of fun.
And I think we should catch Porto by surprise. I think Fatau caught Porto by surprise, for example, and I thought he did well up until we got that red card, for example. So
yeah,
we should keep them on their toes, but at the same time, Shermiti is kind of a wild card where I'm not mad if he starts either, right? Because Porto, I don't know if they quite understand the kid either. But anyways.
Yeah, no strong feelings right now. Like, I still think Paulinho's your starter until proven otherwise.
Of course. Who I think that's mainly also, I don't know if Paul Rodriguez is one of those guys, but I've seen on Twitter the people saying Paulinho after 50 appearances has 2 league goals this season. Shermiti in 2 has 1. He already has half of what Paulinho has.
Paulinho also has more UEFA goals than the rest of the team, and
top Taça Liga goal scorer of all time.
He's a bit
baby.
of a Taça Liga merchant, but like
Taça Liga goal scorer of all time, baby.
He's very much a cup player, I think.
Exactly. But no, he's our best striker. Point blank. Period. Nothing more.
He's had an okay year.
Striker.
He's had an okay year this year. I think he's
had his moments.
He's bounced back a bit this year. He's been somewhat he's got like 20 goal involvements or something close to that. That's
he's probably never that striker though. That's the thing.
It's true. You're not wrong.
And then who gets sold first? Pot, Edwards, Inácio, Nuno Santos, Ugarte, or anybody else?
Edwards.
Chris, how about you?
Summer.
Maybe Ugarte, to be honest, but it's probably Edwards and Ugarte are 1 and 2.
It's one of those two.
Inácio.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's up for debate.
Yeah, I think it's Edwards, Ugarte in that order. They might hold on to Ugarte maybe till mid-season next season. I think Edwards.
The
Done
thing
summer.
is that Garth gets another 10% purchased at 90 games,
yeah,
and he's at like 60 some. So I don't know if it's going to get there by the end of the season, even if he plays every game. The math's going to be tight, but we want Garth to get as many appearances as possible.
You're going to have to make a bit of a run in Europa League for that to happen. You have to get at least quarterfinals. You have to get.
Because how many league games are there?
Possible though.
We're midway. We're just past midway point, I think, in the league season.
So what is that, like 16
or
more
like
games?
18, 16, 18. It's like it'll be tight.
It'll be
like,
close.
I think if he plays every game, he might get it. But like, let's say he gets hurt and misses 5 games or something,
or a suspension. Let's say,
it's no. Yeah, and it's not even necessarily cheap either, but it obviously just increases our leverage in a potential sale in the summer. I think it would bring us up to either 70 or 80%.
Because we're at 6. I think we're at 60 now.
It'll be paid a total of 12.5 million for 80%. I think so.
That's not horrible because we'll probably flip them for like double that anyways.
You would think, yeah.
You would think, like, well, I think at minimum you get like what you got for Paulinho, like,
yeah.
So hopefully a bit more, but yeah.
I hope you got like 5 to 10 million more at minimum, but we'll see.
Yeah, here's my quick 2 cents is that, and maybe this is me being naive. I don't think we're selling that much in the summer. And I don't think it's Ugarte either.
It depends if we make the Champions League or not, my man.
It depends on how the cards fall for European football.
That is true.
Because we need
to be at least in the top 3. And
I'm only saying
if we finish third, it's not a guarantee that we'll get the Champions League.
Yeah, exactly.
Get the playoffs.
But we'll be in a position to at least try to get it.
Yeah.
I only
also say that. Sorry to interrupt again.
No. All good.
Okay. Even if that does happen, it just necessarily means that the sales will happen on deadline day because the Champions League playoff is like August 17th usually.
Yeah, it's like,
and we all love a deadline day fucking at this club.
See if we qualify. We actually might qualify and then still sell. But if it's like we wait and see, oh, we don't. Okay, now we need to sell. Okay, we're selling them all August 31st, right? So yeah. Expect that.
We could be playing Champions League. We could play we're in contention for all 3 tournaments.
But if we finish 4th,
Conference League.
we're selling Ugarte and Edwards, bro.
The only reason I say I think we'll only sell 1, and I don't think that one is Ugarte, is mainly from what Ruben Amorim said on a press conference not that long ago, where he wants, everybody was sold. And now he wants to make the pressure of the club to try to sustain this team for the league title. So that's why I don't think we'll sell both. And I think Ugarte might be last on that list because we're fucked without him.
We have no midfield without him.
I personally think out of that list, Edwards, yes, first. Inacio second. And I say that because I'm not sure whether Diomande is coming in to replace Inacio or Coates, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know. Or it could easily be that, Inacio goes and Diomande is more so just for cover, but that's my thoughts on that question. But anyways, let's go on to Dave Oliveira It's Dave O. Since we can't win any silverware, what are your hopes for the away kit next year? Chris, I'll start with you, bro. You're our kit guy on that.
You're one of the big
Any
kit
hopes?
guys, me and Chris.
Not really.
I hope it just doesn't have the weird.
We have an away kit of current template, and hopefully the home kit is not the same kit again.
Yeah, I hope. All I hope for the kits is it doesn't, because Nike went really weird with their kits with the neckline.
Yeah,
I hope we don't have that weird ass neckline. I hope it's like a normal design in that layout sense, because their necklines were fucking atrocious. And Nike missed on all their World Cup kits this year.
Horrible, especially Canada's.
Get a new one. That's why
Portugal actually made out okay, to be honest.
I liked it.
Our away kit slaps. Our home kit, I'm not a fan of. I'm sorry.
I liked it as time went by. At first, I didn't like it. I like it now.
I don't hate it as much as I did when it got released. I think our away kit goes hard. I think the home kit is not the best.
In terms of our away kit for next year, I just want yellow because I feel like they've been teasing yellow for like a decade now. Give me yellow.
I have the
Yes.
last yellow one we did when Macron
Love that
signed.
one. That one's
I
one of
have
my
that
favorites.
one. I'll wear that one next show.
That one and purple and the purple one are both two of my favorite away kits.
I liked the ones when Puma first came on too.
Mm.
The first Puma year, they did decent shirts for that first year, and then
Those are the yellow ones I'm talking about. I think there was Puma. They had
Puma
like
Puma did
the
a yellow
Pumas on the shoulder and shit.
Puma did a
Sick.
yellow kit, and Macron did a yellow kit, which was like it had like a green
Oh,
collar,
yes, yes,
with
yes,
like
yes,
a yellow
yes,
lion.
yes.
It was
I actually
asymmetric.
don't have
was
that
sick.
one, to be honest. That yellow Macron one.
I
I
have
don't
it.
have
It's
either.
I actually was a big fan of that one. All the kits except for the home kit like were actually nice that first year. The home kit was the ugliest of the bunch.
And then two, who has better drip, Amorim or Nusanch?
Amorim.
Yeah, I like Amorim's.
Amorim.
Amorim's swag is my swag. I'm gonna be.
I don't know about the
Amorim's
jeans
swag
recently,
is like
every game
very
jeans.
casual.
Yeah, that's true. But it's
He's
just the
got the Air
jeans, the
Forces.
white Air Forces.
The white Air
That's
Forces.
me.
I gotta get me a pair. Of
Nike
those.
sweatshirt, bro. That's me, fam. That's me. You catch me in a function, I'm wearing that.
Yeah, he's like every Toronto man in like the fall. Like
Just
I love
without
that.
Timbs, bro. That's all he's missing. Is
He just
Timbs.
doesn't have Timberlands. That's it.
You were Tim's, that'd be hilarious.
Oh, that'd be so fun. Could you get Tim's in fucking Portugal? They don't even know what that is.
Do they even know what that is exactly?
Like,
Maybe I think might have it a little bit, but it's
Right.
definitely not a real thing.
no, it's not like it is in Canada and
In New
to a
York,
lesser extent,
especially.
Yeah, in the
US.
States, it's big too.
I
Yeah,
love it in New York. In New York, that's everything, bro.
it's hilarious. It's all you see.
Just a bit more on the transfer news before we move on to other things. Mainly Jovan. That's what I want to know your guys' opinion on it. I listened to the last pod. All was, we thought all was all but done. We went to Valladolid.
It's not all but done.
And where was that comment? There's a comment. This one right here. And then all of a sudden we see him getting subbed on Liwav. So Chris, I'll pass it off to you, and I want this comment just to be emphasized just a bit more, because we did have Fatabo against Porto, but then we put on Jovan where we need a goal.
That's why I flipped off the game.
Facts.
I
Thoughts
flipped
on
off the game. Jovan came on. I turned it off. I'm done.
And I like Jovan personally, but thoughts on this move, because this just
Yeah,
I don't know
it was.
who's doing wrong here. Are we fucking him over? What do you think?
I just don't understand the management of Jovan from the beginning, right? Even the renewal,
Yeah.
how he was exiled, how he came back, where he went on loan to Lazio. Like
Exiled again. Like
I don't know what the point of anything that he's done in the last 2 years is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm there. Everything everything mid to post bubble is just blown my mind.
Facts.
yeah, I mean I don't even it's crazy that he's even on the team, getting any minutes. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy that he's subbed into a game in a critical position for us this season.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other one, I'll also pass to you, but Rich, I'll pass it off to you right after as well. I'm just going with the only American here. Seeing as Dest was linked to us and apparently number one before Bellerin.
Yeah.
Allegedly. Thoughts on that, Chris?
I'm honestly sad. But to be honest, obviously, if you guys know my, me and my personal life, obviously Bellerin is the type of player that definitely does interest me. I do find that interesting. I am into style. I am into similar politics. So I mean, he is the type of guy that I do like. So it is cool that we got him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it would have been cool to have an American at Sporting again.
Be the first one since Onyewu.
Yeah, there's only really been a couple ever, and there's decades in between them. So, it's been almost a decade since the last one. I obviously think he's a great player as well, and he would be coming to start it right back, just like Bellerin is in theory coming to start it right back, right? So, it's kind of sad, especially since his form is a bit down as well. Probably is younger, has more resale value after the fact, should he become permanent or whatever. But it's just anytime we have the opportunity to get an American, I'm rooting for it. So the lady, Pelly, is their big new signing. She's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm happy.
Yeah. It's like us. Anytime we get semi-linked to a Canadian, like we're rooting for it.
Bro, we were linked to Buchanan like
Lucas Diaz,
I haven't let it down, bro.
Buchanan and
Diaz
I really
is gonna
wish we
pop
had got
any day now,
Eustachio.
bro.
I really wish we had got Eustachio too. We were in on him, and then we just decided, no, never mind.
Yeah, and he honestly, he's panning out. He's panning out.
Yeah.
I did not have 100% confidence that he was gonna pan out. Yeah. I thought he could be a flop, and eternal loan to other Portuguese teams.
No,
and he's a player, man. He's a player.
He pocketed Kevin De Bruyne at a World Cup.
Fair play to him.
I'm gonna be real. I agree. I always thought he was talented. I always thought he was good. I thought the Porto move I thought was the bad move for him, and then how it panned off early on too, where he was barely playing.
All of a sudden, he's one of their more important
players. He should have came to Sporting. He should have went to Braga.
Talent that goes into it, right? There's other things.
Exactly.
And so if it didn't work out for him, that doesn't necessarily mean he's a bad player or anything. But it's like it wasn't. If anything, I was leaning negative that I didn't think it was going to work out. But it seems like it is though.
He's killer.
He's doing well. Like, good for him.
Got a lucky goal against us, the son of a bitch, though.
Well, it's because of that fucking Frank.
A decent shot, but yeah, come on, man. Terrible.
It's not a horrible shot by any means, but you need to be doing, as a goalkeeper, you're a professional.
Not enough power.
The goal. Your one job is to tend the goal, and you couldn't even do that.
Facts. Is there anything else, Chris, that I might be forgetting in terms of transfers or anything else? The only other thing I thought of talking about was the Cristiano Ronaldo box, but I kind of was hoping Steph would be here because Steph ordered one, but I guess it probably hasn't arrived yet.
When it arrives, we'll definitely have to have a box.
The CR7 box. Cool or shameless?
Both.
A bit of both.
It's absolutely it's cool. Really cool because that is one of like the more like popular shirts in the club's history. It is a cool shirt. Like, I had that shirt growing up.
Remake of it is not a Reebok.
It's not the Reebok. That's the thing. It's not a Reebok, so it's very disappointing. It's not the Reebok.
It's illegal. It would be illegal for that's probably the reason it's not. Because that's illegal.
That's why, like, you see, like a lot of clubs do that. They have the remakes. Like, it has every detail except for the actual like manufacturer logo on the chest.
And let's say it was a kit. But we had the same manufacturer, then they could remake it. But
like Adidas does that now with like they've done that.
Yeah, they do that with like their 06 template and shit like that. Yeah, it's cool.
And they've revamped like some of their old templates too. But yeah, it's cool because it's a cool shirt overall. But it is shameless or shameful.
I thought about it, but I was like, too pricey. Maybe for half of that. I would have thought about it more seriously, but I'm not. I
didn't think about it.
I'm not gonna spend 200 euros. No shot.
No, it's not worth it for me. I'm sorry. And I'm a kick guy myself. I probably got like.
What if you have a bit more disposable income?
Go for it. No, I'm a kick guy. I got like close to 40.
Not gonna restock really, so probably get in there in the next week.
And then just restock if you really want. If someone desperate might buy it.
Right. It's very. I mean.
It's niche, but some
get that much resale value. But I think it's just more of a thing. Like if you have like a man cave area or like a
shrine,
a shrine zone.
If you really love Ronaldo, like
a couple followers of ours do have like literal sporting shrines in their house that I've seen photos of. So yeah, it'd be perfect for something like that. And if you have a house and a shrine, you probably have a couple €100 laying around.
You probably got some disposable income. You can afford it.
If not, baby, come call me. I can get you into that home equity line. Don't even worry about it.
Like I'm a kick. I got probably close to like 40 shirts up in the closet just in soccer alone, but it's not worth it for me.
Yeah,
I'm more of the look for the bargain. I just got like a TFC shirt for like $60 on eBay or like $65 on eBay, like solid. Brand new with the tags.
Solid.
That's how I look for a shirt. I'm not gonna drop like $200, $300 on a shirt.
That comes with a couple. It comes with like a medal and a poster and a book. A coffee table book.
It's a book and a book and a fake medal. Cool.
Yeah, that's.
You know what? I have books here on my shelf that I'm looking at right now, and they definitely didn't cost that.
Anything else I might have missed, Chris? Because I can't really think
The
of it.
transfer, I think we're good.
Kevin Mack from the basketball team weirdly signed with Sporting and then left after one game, which is weird. A lot of weird things happening with the basketball team this year that no one really talks about it. It kind of gets brushed under the rug, but it's definitely kind of weird. And if no one's talking about it, I'm talking about it. And I have noticed
it loses attention because the main football team's been so dreadful, right?
I've noticed it.
We've noticed it, but
it's been weird. Performances haven't dropped off that much enough that it's considered. I mean, they beat Porto this past weekend for the league, so I mean, Trevante is honestly rounding into form. Won Player of the Month for the league in January. Had a couple 25+ point games. So he definitely got to a slower start this year. He was hurt a bit. But he's back. I'd say Trevante is fully back. Newcastle is now the second English team that got linked to Ugarte the past couple of days. Chelsea linked to Raphael Leão.
Chelsea needs to settle down with the other thing. Man City's under investigation. Chelsea's going to be next.
I think that Raphael Leão's extension with Milan is held up because of the payment to Sporting. And that's why it's not getting done, because they would have locked that shit up so long ago. In fact, it was reported it's all but signed. It's all ready to go. That was 6 months ago. He's not signing it.
I think it's two things, though. I think it's also his potential move to City. I think might also be stopping that contract for no too, which.
But I think he can sign a renewal and still leave.
Yeah, he could. Especially now,
either way,
leave in June. That's not an issue.
He owes Sporting money, whether he likes it or not. It's been the rule. He can't appeal it anymore.
I wondered what the final thing would be for how he got out of it. And I'm not sure what it's going to be, but he will somehow
weasel out of it.
Or get someone else to cover part of it, or George Mendes will cover part of it and then he'll do something else in return.
But either way,
it'll be
Sporting's
some
owed that
bullshit.
money.
It'll be some bullshit. It will not just be, here is your 18 million, enjoy. That will not fucking happen. And I think a lot of people might be slightly deluded into thinking that might happen. Mm-hmm. Obviously, barring anything unforeseen, like insane Chelsea, who just, I guess, has a money printing machine now. If they're like, we'll pay the 100 million transfer fee and throw in the 18 for Sporting, I don't care. Money doesn't matter. Maybe Sporting will get the money if that happens, but I don't think it'll be that simple.
That's why I kind of hope he goes to City, is because I feel like City will pay us that. Just to
I think Chelsea's more likely to pay us that.
I mean, either or.
Chelsea's owner strikes me as much more. I don't give a fuck in that regard. I'll just pay it.
Just go to jail and this will all fall apart in a year or two. Because what's going on?
we're owed that money. That money, Sporting.
It's a rumor for June, right? So I don't think that'll happen in the next 5 months. So we should hopefully be good for a summer deal.
Yeah.
Before it explodes in 2 years.
Yeah. We still got
whatever's going on over there is just not normal.
There's a lot of
even for Prem clubs.
Says there.
Last thing, handball made it through the knockout round of the European League. So 3 games to spare. Good for them. Just playing for seeding now. Last couple games. And also our former players Andre Carrillo and Luciano Oviedo were part of the first Saudi team that didn't make the Club World Cup final. Oviedo won a critical penalty for his team in the semifinal today. Yeah. Good for Luciano Oviedo, one of Sporting's record transfer fees.
Crazy.
He's in the top 10. And Gelson was part of the deal. So if you don't include that, Luciano Oviedo is probably Sporting's record transfer. Or if you do include the valuation, so.
Yep.
Always good to see former GOATs out here still balling.
That's one way to describe him.
Yeah.
That's one way to
He's still rocking the number 10.
Good for you.
Undeserved number 10, bro.
And to me, I think he still got one of the best send-offs a club player has ever gotten.
He assisted the goal in the Classico against Porto.
They tried to make him happen so bad, and it would have been really good for the admin if he did happen, but he just
They
didn't.
really tried. Multiple attempts were made.
Yeah. And the only other thing I actually just remembered now too is something about Madjer. They removed his things in the museum, and
the beach soccer, yeah.
There people were saying they were removing it because they're going to build a new area for it. Some people are saying it's just they removed it because there was a falling out. I don't know what the truth is. The source is questionable.
Some dude. That's the source right now. Is some guy.
The source is like some guy to Leonino. So I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But would it shock me if there was a falling out with the modalities player of a sport that is now canceled? No, it would not.
Not at all. That would not shock me with this administration.
So yeah, I don't know, but I guess we'll continue tracking it and update accordingly.
Yeah. We'll keep an eye on it.
And last little bit before we touch on the Porto or the Sporting Porto game on Sunday, wanted to gauge your guys' opinion on this huge news with Man City. I know it's outside of our league, but
it has a knock-on effect for football as a whole.
Exactly.
This is going to be whatever happens is going to set a precedent, I think.
Exactly. And that's what I really wanted to gauge your guys' opinion, and I'll chime in as well. But Rich, I'll start with you. I mean, what do you make of this news breaking from Man City? They could relinquish some titles, likely to just lose some points, could be fined, could get relegated. What do you want to see? And yeah, thoughts on this?
Well, for anybody who doesn't know, we'll fill you in quick. So Man City had a few years ago, they had a lawsuit with UEFA over financial fair play regulations. They were found guilty. However, UEFA has a time-sensitive statute in their statutes or whatever, and how it goes. So Man City appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport. They won their appeal because UEFA was deemed, yes, you're
very familiar with that court.
Yeah, you're very Sporting, very familiar. You're well within your right to charge them, but because these charges are from years ago, you can't do that. The Premier League does not have that same issue. They could go back to 1992 and charge you for some shit. So that's what this is, and the allegations are over 100 charges between 2010 up until I believe 2018. So 8.5 years. Basically, they're cooking the books. They're committing fraud. They did what Juventus did. They were paying people under the table. They were creating fake. I'm trying to think of the word for the accounts. They're basically just creating like fake sponsors and pumping in money artificially to get around financial fair play rules. The Premier League, in my opinion, would do right to throw the book at them. I would relegate them. I would fine the fine's not. If you just fine them, it's not going to do anything because they have infinite money anyways. They're going to laugh at a fine. It needs to be something tangible. What I think is going to happen is they'll probably get a points deduction this year, anywhere from 10 to like 25 points, and maybe like a semi-hefty fine, but that's about it. If it was me, I would strip them of. I would pull what the Italian league did to Juventus in the Calciopoli match fixing scandal, send them down to Division 2 and strip them of the titles during that time period. That's how I would do it, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I probably don't think that'll happen either. I think a points deduction this season is possible as well. Mm-hmm. You saw like in Portugal a couple weeks ago, like there was some recent developments with like Benfica stuff.
And nothing's come of it.
Again. Yeah, nothing ever comes of it, especially in Portugal.
I think the difference is because we're a bit of a Mickey Mouse league and this is the Premier League. So they probably have a bit of their shit together.
I mean, it's crazy that Juventus keeps getting hit with shit. So it's like Italy, I mean, let's be honest, Italy is not necessarily known for being like the most above board country.
But they did throw the book at them in 2006, to be fair.
Yeah,
they threw the book at them.
It's commendable because something like that, it seems like that could never happen in Portugal. And I guess the more the more that this precedent is like open, the more that it becomes possible in Portugal.
This
But
is the
even
biggest
then,
league in the world, right? Like that whatever ruling they do is going to set the precedent for similar cases moving forward in other leagues, you would think. Because if they throw the book at them and throw the book, because that's one of the big, that's the big six they call it. If they throw the book at them and they say if they're playing like Wrexham next year, let's say, because I saw a thing today that said if they hypothetically got relegated, I'm not saying they will. The English Football League is under no obligation to accept them, so they could even have to start out below League Two. In an absolute
but Wrexham didn't get
worst case
promoted,
scenario.
so Wrexham will be in League Two, and
So they'll be playing whoever Wrexham's playing now.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll be in the Vanarama leagues too.
That's what they're saying is the Football League is under no if the absolute like we're gonna just make an example of the worst case gong show scenario happened. The Football League is under no obligation to accept if they got sent down like League One or League Two, for example. They could say nope, you have to even start further below Football League and into essentially like non-league football, which is wild that we're even having that. That's a possibility, but it is a possibility.
Yeah. Bro, like my opinion is I worry that poking the bear too much is gonna start the Super League, because at the end of the day, these are nation states. Man City isn't the first one of its or maybe they're the first one.
They are the
but they're not the only one.
Yeah,
they're not the only ones, is what I meant to say. And now we're seeing more and more of it. I mean, Newcastle hasn't started spending yet either, but who knows? In the future, I mean, you all know Chelsea's well documented. Sort of, I don't know what to think of it, because to a degree, I agree we should get this filthy money out of the beautiful game in a way. Because I think it does spoil it a bit that these clubs, especially these English clubs, especially these clubs owned by, again, states and nations, get to throw their massive dick around, if you will, and just say, hey, give me your player. The same way Chelsea bullied Enzo to come or bullied Benfica for Enzo to come to Chelsea is the same way City has been doing that for a decade now.
Yeah, for 12 years since they got the oil money. Right.
Now the only thing is, why is it taking it so long for it to finally for the Premier League to finally do something?
So from what I saw, is they've been doing this investigation for 4 years. So my guess is they probably wanted to come correct with this. That'd be the only thing, because if you're going to make this type of accusations, you better have your shit in order, right?
But that's why I think they didn't offer an appeal either. From my understanding, they're not letting City
they can't appeal to the court. They can't appeal to the Court of Arbitration.
Yeah,
for sport, I saw that. They'll still litigate it, I'm sure. It's funny because you mentioned the Super League too. I think they're going to rule in favor of UEFA anyways. I think what's going to happen, and this is what has kind of been bandied about, is they will tell the Super League teams, you are well within your right to organize a new competition. However, we cannot trust you to also be act as the governing body for that competition, because there's no guarantee any club will act in the best interest of everybody except for themselves. So they'll say you need an independent regulator or federation for it, and it has to be within Europe because you're European-based teams, and this is the European Court of Arbitration that will be settling this. So basically, UEFA will have their way probably.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It kind of worries me on what's going to come out of it, especially as a fan. Like
I say, let them have their Mickey Mouse league. Go. Kick them out of everything. Let them have their stupid league.
Then we're fucked.
And go. I don't care at this point. Kick them out of every domestic competition. Kick them out of UEFA. Kick them out of everything. Let them go. Because I guarantee if all it takes,
it'll be like the CFL and the NFL.
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be like
separate, but like one is.
It'll be like
inferior.
it'll be more like the PJ and Live Golf, where guys get their feet, like players will just get their memberships revoked from FIFA. Like,
that would be the best case scenario because Live Golf hasn't taken off at all.
Yeah, that's gonna be like Live Golf, because there's only so many plastic fans out there and glory hunting fans out there. And I think as well,
the TV money. They don't necessarily need fans if they can guarantee the TV contracts and like the state contracts. But yeah,
I mean,
don't know.
these clubs
that would
are already
serve to prop it up a lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and on that point too, these clubs are actually like already like shitting on fans when they're making League Cups outside of the country, and
Yeah, they're already trying to
so
move games. Like the Premier League had the 39th game that they wanted. They wanted to play a game either in the US or Canada
mhm.
or Saudi Arabia or Johannesburg in South Africa or Beijing or Seoul. Like that was bandied about, but the players just wouldn't agree to it.
And at the end of the day, because there are these massive, I mean, bro, as fucking Canadians, as Americans, like I know people that are, for example, I know a massive Chelsea supporter that has nothing to do with England. He's like
Yeah,
he loves Colombia, but he's a massive Chelsea supporter. There's United supporters like that. There's Barcelona.
I
So
work
many
with a United
fucking
supporter like that. Like I work with a guy who's a
exactly. I know so
diehard
many
United
fucking El
supporter.
Salvadorian fucking Barcelona fans, for example. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like obviously these clubs are worldwide, so it doesn't matter if if the nation is mad at them, if they have fans elsewhere, they can
yeah.
just fuck off and go elsewhere. That's what I think. That's my only worry on when it comes to this is that I mean, good on them for attacking this corruption and going
If
after
you're
the
gonna get it, you should
finances.
get it now.
Yeah, and I love the guy on the reporter that asked Pep if he ever took some fucking
We know
offshore.
Pep's bald fraud anyways. We know he's
Yeah,
getting one. We know he's getting paid under the table. Two, his brother is also kind of sort of being paid under the table by City, so he's full of
exactly.
shit. Mourinho clear.
Yeah, facts,
Mourinho clear. I don't care. Pep's a
facts.
bald fucking fraud.
But predictions on this? Do you guys? What do you think is going to happen to them?
They'll
I'm
get
gonna
a points
say
points deduction and then a fine. I don't think they get sent down.
I'm actually gonna agree with Lauren. Where does she put it here? Not the minus 30 points. I think it's gonna be a win, like a transfer window embargo. Like
Transfer. Oh, I think they'll get a
I
point
think like
deduction, fine, and
a
transfer
year and a half,
embargo. They'll get at
a year
least
and a half,
year and a half transfer embargo as
and
well.
that's it.
So I think it's a combination of like those three things is most likely. I
I
think
think they'll do
anything
that.
more than that would be very welcome surprise, but I think it would still
Yeah,
be a surprise.
agreed.
They might lose points this season because it doesn't matter for them
Doesn't matter.
as much.
That's true too.
Yeah, but they
And it
should
helps Arsenal
ideally be
because
playing. Yeah,
Pep clearly wants Arsenal to win the league, anyways.
they should
Um,
ideally be playing Millwall away next year, but I don't think that's going to happen.
yeah. And last but not least, let's preview this weekend's game against Porto Sunday at home, Super Bowl Sunday. It's going to be a fun night to drink, I think, on this part of the pond.
After this game, we might need some drinks. We might need some drinks after this game, dude.
But Sporting, like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to the bigger teams, we tend to show up for the occasion, even if we don't get the result that we're looking for. The performance at least shows that we're willing to fight these teams eye to eye, if you will. But Rich, I'll start off with you. What's your preview, prediction, thoughts on Porto this weekend?
We're at home, which means nothing because the Alvalade is a fucking library now. It's tough to say because we're such a weird team this year. I think we'll come out probably fighting a bit. I don't think we win. I think we draw. I don't think we have a win in us, and a draw does nothing for us. I think we're gonna basically be stuck in that fourth spot unless Braga really monumentally screws up over the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Porto's not looked amazing, but they've not looked horrible. We did outplay them in the toss of the Liga, but
still lost.
We still lost at the end of the day, and the game's the game. And they're going to be motivated too because they're going to want to try to. I think they know what's the points now. Yeah, because unless Benfica has a monumental, like an all-time collapse, I think right now Porto's just trying to guarantee Champions League because this is the last year we get 3 Champions League teams,
Mm-hmm.
two automatically won the playoffs, so they'll want to definitely get the second place and solidify that. I think Braga will be left to the Champions League playoff. And we will be stuck playing Europa League or even Conference League next year and have to try to spam some coefficient points.
So you're saying, what are you saying? 0-0? 1-1?
No, 1-1. I think both. I think we have a goal on us. I think they have at least a goal on them. I'll say 1-1.
Go out, bro. Predict the goal scorer.
Not Shinamiti. I think Pot will get one. and I think Taremi will get like a penalty or just a really like. It's either going to be a penalty or it's going to be one where our whole defense is just sleeping. Like the Gonçalo Ramos one from a couple weeks back, where there's 3 defenders in the box, and they all just did not see him just strolling in with like he could have walked in with like his dog and a bifana in either hand, and he could have still scored. That's how much time and space he had.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be one of those penalty or a stupid goal that makes us want to pull our hair
out. Chris, how about you? Thoughts, predictions on this game?
Yeah, I also think it's gonna.
You're on mute.
You're on mute.
I think it is gonna be a bit of a more exciting game as far as like goals and action and chances versus like the Rio Ave performance. However, I don't think that we're going to win, so I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Goal scorers, or just
St. Just.
Ooh.
Set piece goal.
Look on the edge. I like.
Has an assist off a set piece recently. Playing better. And then Pot, who will keep pace at the top of the goal scoring charts.
I like that.
that.
Boys, Bellerin, start or on the bench?
Start.
You got.
No, I'm saying. What do you think Amorim's gonna do?
I think he's gonna start.
I think he's gonna start.
Guy who didn't do anything.
So too.
As Gaio did shitty, and I think you want a guy who's going to
really loses nothing by rolling the dice there.
I think so too.
Because I mean, you want somebody that passes it backwards and probably gets beat like at least 3 times. Like,
no,
he can do that, man. So maybe, and there's an added benefit of maybe he'll do more.
Yeah. You're getting at the very it's at the very absolute worst case scenario a lateral move.
Yeah.
And that's a worst case. There's no way that it's a worse move to start Bellerin. I'm sorry.
I agree. I actually think he'll start. I think it's more so on the surprise element, because I think Amorim likes to do that on big games, like we've seen, especially last. He
has done that actually.
He's done that quite a bit. And I think the only thing that Bellerin might let us down on is defensively, but we have St. Just and how fast he is just behind them. So, but I'm going with I'm going to be more optimistic than you two. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win.
I respect that.
I think we're gonna take that last game and sort of use it as motivation. Because we can clearly, I won't say we're better than them, but we can clearly play them on our day. And we'll be at home. I'm hoping somewhat of a packed stadium. Who knows nowadays? But
what's your predicted attendance? I'll go around the room here.
I'm gonna say 41.
Yeah, like between 41 and 44.
Yeah,
I'll say 39. I'm gonna prices right. You
nice.
39 between 39 and 40. Because the team's kind of dog shit, and there's a cut down the Adeptu malarkey and ticket prices. I think it's 39. It is at a good time on a Sunday though, so they could surprise us. They could easily hit us with like a 46. That's a thing. It's a nice time on a Sunday.
That would be the highest attendance of the season. I think the highest.
It's an earlier kickoff, right? Like it's 1 p.m. our time. So
it's 6 p.m. there.
6
p.m. a Sunday night, bro. Think she not misa, caralho. I don't think a lot of people are
who's going to misa at 6 p.m. Surely misa's at like 11 a.m.
Minha avó misa, caralho.
Second misa.
Second misa. They gotta go to the rosary, then confession.
You know what I mean? I'm going with a 2-0 win. I'm more confident. I don't know why after what I've seen with Rio Ave. I'm gonna go with I like what Lauren said, Morita and Edwards.
Morita deserved a goal like the last goal. He's played very well. He's been
a great, consistent goal scorer for us.
He's been like a very good signing. I know people weren't sure what to make of him when we signed him. It was like, okay, he's a decent player for Santa Clara, but he's very pleasantly been one of the more consistent kind of standout players on a not so great team.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And Lauren does bring up a good thing. I think Eustáquio and Otavio are out. At least one of them, I think, will have
One
see.
of them at minimum is out. There's
But
one
we'll
more
see.
guy out for them, I thought, too.
Taremi got a yellow this weekend. That's also why I think Sporting will win.
Wendell got hurt too.
Wendell's hurt.
You can't punch Pot now, but I think Pot will score, and I'll give the other one to Inacio. I think those two will score.
Inacio, that'll be like a corner kick goal or like off a header, probably.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
God knows he can't shoot.
He has a decent amount of goals, to be fair.
He has a good left foot on him, bro. Remember he scored that banger not that long ago, maybe last season, like 40 yards out.
Mateus Reis has a couple of bangers too.
Mateus Reis does have a banger.
Mateus Reis has one or two.
Does have a banger.
Yeah, that's fair. I respect that prediction. I hope you're right, not I'm wrong. I'd love to be wrong on this one.
I hope so too, but if I was a betting man, I would be losing.
Well, we know you're a betting man.
I'm a betting man, and I lose a lot of money.
We know you're a betting man.
If I was a betting man,
I'll be a betting man on Sunday with some friends and hopefully clean up some of their money.
Last thing before we take off, guys, because we're on this part of the pond, Super Bowl predictions. I think I read the script. And
you read the script. They sent it to you. Roger Goodell sent it to you directly, did he?
I read the script exactly. And Mahomes' ankle is gonna fuck him over. Yeah, hurts all the way, baby.
So you're thinking Philadelphia,
bro. I hate both these teams, though. That's the
I
thing.
dislike both. Like it was lose for me for whoever went in.
To be honest, I think I might like KC a bit more, but as a Bills fan, like. I can't stand them at the same time.
I'm a Pittsburgh fan, and like Bills are sort of like my second team. So like
I definitely was rooting for the NFC team no matter what because I wasn't rooting for the Chiefs or the Bengals.
No,
yeah.
So
like the Bengals are a division rival, and I don't like the Chiefs. Like,
but I feel for Nando because Nando is a Cowboys fan, so he would like kill himself if fucking the Eagles won again.
You got to see a playoff win this season, which is something that I don't normally get to see.
How is Nando these days?
Chilling. He's good.
Chilling.
He's good, bro.
Yeah. I'll go Eagles too. I think KC just. I think Mahomes. They can tell me all week Mahomes' ankle's not.
I think that Kansas City's probably the favorite, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for the Eagles.
Let me see the odds.
But I think it's gonna be the Eagles.
I think it's like KC by 3.
I was gonna say I might take. I think the last time I checked the odds, it was Eagles at +3, and I would probably take that.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to Philly. So if they win, I'm gonna run into the street.
We're gonna see.
Yeah, you're from Philly. News. Yeah, of course you're gonna go for Philly.
We're gonna see you on. We're gonna see Chris on the news when he's gonna be in the background of some guy.
I probably won't climb anything, but.
No, you'll be in like the background when some guy's like running on the subway and he runs into a pole again.
It'll be fun if they win, though. It'll be pandemonium.
Yeah,
so I want to be in the city just in case.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Last thing, is Gronk gonna make that kick or what?
Oh, the commercial.
Yeah, we've seen that fucking commercial for weeks, bro.
We better get it in Canada.
I think
we only get like half the. They only let us see like half the commercials.
He's missing it.
He's missing it. I think.
Yeah, I'm sure all this build-up, certainly he's making it, right? Like,
well, boys, that's 174 down the drain in the books. A big one next week after the Porto game. Of course, be sure to follow us here at Sporting160_EN on Twitter and Sporting160EN everywhere else. Give Rich a follow there on Twitter, myself a follow, Sam a follow, and Chris a follow, and of course, special shout out to Steph who couldn't make it today. And yeah, until next time. Do.